All right, Kim, thank you. There is an important event coming up next weekend in McFarland to support the mission of the Preeclampsia Foundation. The Madison Promise Walk helps to improve the outcomes of hypertensive disorders of pregnancy. Joining us to talk more about the event are Dr. Kara Hoppe, a maternal fetal medicine specialist at UW Health, Brittany Paffel, a survivor of preeclampsia, and lead nurse Kristen Hildebrandt. Thank you so much for being here, everyone.
Thank you.
So before we start, I have to say something about Dr. Hoppe. So she's very special to me because she was the doctor who gave us our diagnosis that my son would be born with tetralogy of Fallot, a congenital heart defect. So you're very good at your job, and we appreciate so much all that you have done for everyone in the community. So this is something very important that we're talking about today. How common is preeclampsia?
Devastatingly high and common. So nationwide, we think maybe 1 in 7 pregnancies are affected by a hypertension disorder. Those numbers are as high as 1 in 5 in Wisconsin.
Wow. Okay, so
Yep.
really something important that we
Very
need to
important.
address that maybe there's not enough awareness about.
Absolutely.
And that's part of what this event is. This walk helps to raise awareness and funds. So tell us more about the event.
So the event takes place next weekend in McFarland. It's just a short, brief walk around a really beautiful park along the lake. And it's a very family-friendly event. We have a face painter coming, balloon artist, and yeah, we're just hoping to raise funds and awareness for the cause.
Yeah, and preeclampsia is a very serious condition, and you have experience with it.
That's
so
right.
What was your experience?
Yeah, so I have had preeclampsia twice with both my pregnancies.
Wow.
With my first son, he's now almost 6. He was born at 33 weeks, and I was hospitalized on bed rest at 31 weeks until he was delivered. And then my son Simon, with the help of the clinic, I was able to have him until he was in at 36 weeks.
Okay.
And no NICU time for him, thankfully.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your kids are doing great?
They're doing great. They're so
Good.
great.
And that's thanks to care
Yep.
that is provided. What are some of the signs and symptoms of preeclampsia?
Really severe headache, changes in vision like blurred vision, halos around lights, things floating, severe abdominal pain under the right ribs, that's where the liver is, chest pressure, lots of swelling, feet, hands, and face.
Okay, so important for anyone who is pregnant to be thinking about this, and not a lot of treatment for this. So what can you do if someone is diagnosed with preeclampsia?
Yeah, I think the biggest part is awareness. Family and friends and being aware of it. Keeping an eye on your blood pressure in pregnancy is important. A lot of people actually won't feel any symptoms until they realize their blood pressures are high. The scary part is people can get sick real quickly, and additionally, the only treatment really is delivery. So sometimes we can keep people pregnant longer, control their blood pressures, but really important to be aware of it and how it can affect the mom and baby and family.
Yeah, and I know you guys do a great job of keeping on top of pregnancies and keeping on top of how mothers are doing. So when is it typically diagnosed?
Yeah, I'd say most commonly in the 3rd trimester, but it rarely can present pretty early. Even as early as 24 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's also pretty common at term, 37 weeks and after. But it actually can show up postpartum too. And so there's a lot of misconception that it sort of ends when the birth happens. But that's why we have our STACK program where we watch people for 6 weeks postpartum and do home monitoring because it can become critical in that period too.
Yeah, well, very important to talk about. I wish we had more time to talk about it, but thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story as well.
Thank you.
The Promise Walk is September 28th at Lewis Park in McFarland. We'll have more information on our website.